Welcome to If Trees Could Talk, the show that, if you didn't watch it, did it even happen? You like that?
I like that.
You like that one?
I like that little tidbit of a surprise you left for me.
Yeah. Earlier, I told Natalie that I had an idea for an opener for the podcast, and I didn't want to ruin the surprise. I wanted to get a genuine reaction. So wait
It was quite pure.
Yeah,
it's quite pure.
I think next week you get to try, so that we can try a couple.
You mean come up with my own or say the same one?
No. Come up with your own, because we gotta figure out what this little tagline is gonna be for the podcast.
I'll have to take notes all week. I'll have a little notepad. I'll just be
You mean messaging me on Facebook every single time?
Every time I have a thought, instead of writing it in the notes app on my iPhone, I just message you on Facebook.
Yeah, Keith was asking me when you were at the bachelor party. He was like, you guys never answer our text messages to you guys individually. I can only imagine what it's like when you guys text each other. And I was like, we actually don't text each other. Now just Facebook messages me stuff when she needs to remember, and I Facebook stuff to her when I need to copy and paste stuff to another computer.
That's really funny, because last weekend at the bachelor party, I was also saying to people, I think I was like, oh, I'm messaging Zach, or I think, Jess was next to me and she saw that I was Facebook messaging you. Yeah. And I was like, we don't text.
Yeah, we don't. It's because we're always together,
No, we've always used
Facebook
Messenger, even when we're still living with our parents.
That's true.
It's because of the Wi-Fi. I think it's because at my parents' house, I had really bad service.
Yeah, that's true. In the beginning of our relationship, you guys didn't have that antenna thing.
Yeah.
So Wi-Fi there was pretty bad. My dad could never get a hold of me when I was at your parents' house.
Yeah, exactly. Or that was for cell service. So we started just using Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And I think I also liked the stickers. I could send gifts.
Yeah, it was kind of like early iPhone conversations.
Yeah. And I have iMessaging now. You can come to the dark side.
No, I communicate only in GIFs, and I've noticed that your keyboard doesn't have GIF format. Maybe it does. I don't know enough about iPhones. It's been so long since I had my iPhone.
It depends on the app. It's a different game. It's a different world out there.
I switched when my phone was stolen in college. I think it was just meant to be.
You were done. You were emotionally done with the iPhone.
It was either stolen or I lost it in a snowball fight. I choose to believe it was stolen, but a snowball fight is possibly also an epic story.
It was a snowball fight. Drop your phone in the snow and I mean,
it's probably got crushed. I don't know. Someone found it.
Snow monster stole it.
OtterBox. Remember the OtterBoxes back then? They were fucking gigantic.
I still have my phone in my OtterBox in my glove compartment.
No,
my iPhone 4.
That's a fake OtterBox, isn't it? Or no, I'm thinking about. I saw in your computer drawer in your old bedroom. You had the fake OtterBox from Five Below. Remember, it had a plastic case with that really loose rubber that went around it.
No, that's a real OtterBox. Yeah, that's a real OtterBox.
That shit looks fake, man.
Yeah, it's really shitty.
Oh, no.
You think I was going to Five Below to get fake OtterBoxes? If I'm gonna get a fake cell phone case, I'm gonna get something cute.
I could have swore I remember you getting a fake OtterBox.
No. I got lots of fake phone cases though.
Yeah, those things were gigantic. They were like bricks.
I have an OtterBox in my phone now.
Yeah, it's completely different now. Yeah. Now it's like the rubber cases that people thought really you were crazy for putting on your $200 phone, which is now $1,200.
Yeah. No, when I was in high school, when I was a freshman in high school, I had a little flip phone.
Yeah.
And I had this stuffed animal koala case on it. Mm-hmm. That was just kind of stuck on it, and I was like, "That's incredibly."
I remember those.
Incredibly dirty. Thinking about it now.
It's because it was probably really a pale color, so it probably got all that black crap all over it.
It was gray, like a koala.
Yeah, a pale color.
I mean, no, gray. It was a dark gray.
Oh, okay. But that's not historically accurate. Koalas are light gray.
I mean, they're almost all gone now.
Oh, okay. I can't say it, but they're horrible creatures.
Rest in peace. I love koalas.
I don't know. I appreciate that they exist. I don't know. I wouldn't say they're in my top 10.
Whenever I would write out my last name, Kalasa, people would say, "Is your name Koala?"
That's why I don't know why any of your screen names don't say the word koala in it. Is it because you're just tired of someone calling you koala?
No. It's because in high school, I just made a stupid junk email that was like Coca-Cola or something. And then I started making all my usernames Coca-Cola. I'm going to change them to Koala.
You know what my first email was?
What?
It was Monkey Butts.
Mine was Monkey Fencer 624.
Yeah, it was Monkey Butts, and it wasn't real. The website asked for an email, and I didn't make an email. I just said it was Monkey Butts at Yahoo, and it wasn't real.
What do you mean it wasn't real?
I just typed in an email, and it let me in. And then eventually, I got to a website that said that I had to like give like a confirmation code or like click the link, you know. And so I made it. No one claimed it yet. Monkey butts with a Z at Yahoo.
That's what.
Email me on my pen pal. You just kidding? I don't think it exists anymore.
Check my AIM. Monkey Fencer 624 does not exist.
It probably does exist.
It probably does.
Have you checked?
I don't know if you can download AIM anymore.
No, you can't. But I think it's still just AOL.
No, AIM is owned by AOL, but AIM is an app, like how Gmail is owned by Google, but it's an app.
Could have swore that the AOL accounts also switched over. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I probably definitely am wrong. I only know that mine still existed because I tried to get into MySpace, and I'm pretty sure that's the email I used.
I thought they closed down MySpace.
No, MySpace still exists. They just migrated over like years ago. So I tried to get into my own MySpace.
I'm going to start looking up all the celebrities' old MySpace accounts.
It's probably still there.
Yeah. Well, no, they're like people had, there was a lot of controversy with Camila Cabello. She had a Tumblr.
Yeah, well, I mean, Tumblr's still widely used today.
No, I know, but like she had an old Tumblr from when she was...
Isn't she really young?
In high school.
Probably like 3-year-old Tumblr.
Yeah, honestly, it's probably like from 5 years ago. She's like, what, 22 by now?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So if you say since when she was in high school, that she was what in high school 3 years ago?
I mean, I'm 27, so that's like
whoa.
Really
A lady never
5 years
reveals
younger.
her age. Her age.
Hey, I'm walking here.
So we're finally doing the podcast.
This is nice. If this is what doing a podcast is,
Yeah,
I like it.
Well, I mean, it's just us talking in the car basically, but being recorded at the same time.
Except we're looking at each other because normally one of us is driving, and
That's true. I don't make this much eye contact with you when I normally talk. I'm just gonna look at the camera. If you're listening to this, I'm looking at the camera right now.
I'm looking at the camera. I am eye fucking the shit out of this camera.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh hell yeah. That was. Where's my bleep? I the shit out of this camera right now.
Nice. That delay for you to push the button was totally realistic.
I don't know why I still whispered the word.
Yeah. Well, actually, you can still hear you when you push that bleep button. You have to push the mute button at the same time.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Plus, you could probably pick me up in your mic.
That doesn't matter.
Saying if I said something.
Oh yeah, actually, probably that's true. Yeah, I was like, God, I gotta take a shit, and I bleeped it. It would just pop up on yours too.
Yeah, popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
Pop.
Nice. Yeah, we've been watching Community.
Still watching Unity.
Yeah.
It's paused on our TV right now.
It's true. As soon as we're done with this, we're gonna go watch it.
We're in the middle of an episode, and Zach's like, "All right, we're ready."
Yeah. This
pause.
Oh, gotta mute my phone. Yeah, the podcast has been, we've been working on the idea of it for a while now, but I've been focusing on video and photo for so long now, and we have the YouTube channel, and we made a new YouTube channel, we changed the YouTube channel, we kept going back and forth, we're kind of focusing on that, and then for the last 4 months, since winter, I've been kind of focusing on like audio engineering stuff, and like focusing on like how to do a podcast properly, and I mean, this is not perfect, but I think this is as close to an ideal situation as we can get right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure that whoever does listen to this, even if it's just you and me in the car, you don't get audio fatigue, because audio fatigue is a real fucking thing. And you were saying that you noticed that in Rhett and Link's podcast.
I religiously listen to Ear Biscuits, which is Rhett and Link from Good Mythical Mornings podcast, and I was listening, whatever.
They have a video podcast.
It up. They video podcasts. I listen through YouTube, and I was listening to their quarantine at home podcast, and I didn't even notice it because, for a couple weeks before that, I hadn't been caught up on Ear Biscuits. And then I started listening to all their like quarantine at home, jerry rig setup.
Yeah.
I mean, I say jerry rig, but it's just completely normal microphones.
Blue Yeti.
They were using
USB microphones.
Blue Yeti USB microphones, video chatting with each other because they had to self-isolate from each other with their families. But anyway, so the podcast that I was listening to, I got used to that sound, and I did have the ear fatigue.
Yeah.
That you're talking about. But then I was listening to one of their new ones where they went back to their studio. Sound really great, sounded really crisp, and
using
really
these microphones.
smooth. Using the same Shure microphones.
Yeah.
And then I went back to listen to one that I didn't finish. That was when they were still at home. And oh my God, those USB mics sounded so bad.
Yeah.
I heard every time Rhett went. I don't even know if this microphone will pick that up.
Yeah, it will, but in high quality. I mean, there's some people who like that, but they were saying that they were getting complaints about the quality of the audio.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time, Rhett would start the podcast and he'd say, I get it. You're all saying that I breathe too loud or all these. And I was like, I didn't really notice. It wasn't
you're in a car.
Yeah. I'm in a Jeep.
Yeah.
So I don't hear shit.
Yeah. The wind tunnels are ridiculous.
Oh my God. And I have a light bar. So, I digress. Yeah. Going from a high quality version of their podcast to these like USB mics at home setup, I was like, oh my God, the ear fatigue. It was painful. I noticed every mouth movement,
like the reverb off the walls.
Yeah, there's echo.
Yeah, I mean, we're sitting in our kitchen living room in our apartment. There's a fish tank going in the background. The computers are going.
AC's on.
It's probably, if it is getting picked up on these microphones, hopefully not. It's not an ideal situation, and it's kind of like you see some people when you look at like battle stations on like Reddit or on when you Google it or Pinterest. You see people with like tiled deafening foam.
Yeah.
And that's something I looked into too, but the apparently it's
doesn't do shit.
Well, it does, but it's so marginal that no one fucking hears it.
Well, plus you have to be in the entire room.
Exactly.
Has to be foamed.
Yeah, so it's basically all or none, because basically the little bit you're just wasting your money that you could spend elsewhere.
And it also doesn't look good. I remember you were looking into it because you were like, should we put any on this wall? Because this wall directly behind it is our bedroom TV. Yeah,
and it's also where we stream and do all our stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on here where microphones are involved.
Yeah, but it's at that point, like you said, it's just doesn't even do anything if you're not in a closed off room. If you're still in a big open space, it does nothing. Yeah,
and that's where a microphone like this dynamic microphone Shure SM7B comes in. It's meant for historically live performances, and this is why you see people doing live broadcasts with these kinds of microphones, everywhere from Joe Rogan to Rhett and Link. Everyone does this. You can use these things to record on guitars and drums and sing and stuff, so these things can take a fucking beating.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, you started did you do a Twitch stream yet where you were playing guitar?
No, I tested it though. It worked.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just migrated over to a 2-stream PC setup. It's basically just my computer using Natalie's computer to stream.
Yeah.
Because we only have room for this one desk for the moment. And I was going to, this actually kind of ties into the podcast thing. I was going to build a new computer, but everything is freaking sold out, man. As soon as like a week into the quarantine, everything just got sold out. Webcams and microphones. But not just ordinary, like webcams. I understand, like everyone's trying to work from home.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't want that,
with their families.
Up shot of their nostrils
on the phone
with their bosses, or when you use your laptop, you cannot angle it back, so you get that like funny upshot.
Yeah.
Or they don't even have a webcam that works. Half the time you don't use the webcam on your laptop, and then when you go to use it, you're like, oh wow, it was broken this entire time. Warranty's gone. So the webcams, which are fairly inexpensive for what they are, like $60, $70, sold out. Not only are they being sold out, but they're being scalped by people.
Yep.
And then you get microphones. So USB microphones, you just plug and play, basically. Simple as that. They're being sold out. They're being scalped. I'm actually surprised Rhett and Link were able to get those Blue Yeti microphones because they're gone, basically. And then probably a month in quarantine, I was trying to get these microphones. These are sold the fuck out. These are so sold out that they're not coming back until July.
It is July. You mean October?
Yeah, October. I'm sorry. Well, the first round when I was
the first
ordering,
round in
July.
March when you were looking.
Yeah, we only bought one,
July.
and then for some reason, and then when we went to get that one, it's all the way back to October. Then the cables are sold out. All the cables are sold out. The arms are sold out. The mixers are sold out. I'm like, who who's working from home and needs to sound like a goddamn podcast.
And with the freaking, the whole mixer and the whole microphone and everything, the setup, it's very specific. That's not your average Joe working from home.
Yeah. And I'm mixing our voices. Like, I've fine-tuned it. It's not just like, oh, I'm gonna crank the bass up so we sound like we're in a podcast. Welcome to NPR brings you Zach and Natalie's podcast. No, it's, these are naturally flat bass microphones, and I actually reduced the bass and I've increased some of the other frequencies that complement our individual voices. And it took a lot of fucking time and a lot of research, but I learned a lot, especially into filmmaking. That's important stuff.
Because normally they have, people that mix the sound for videos, and sound engineers work with the cinematographers, producers. People. Yeah, they all have their separate, parts they play.
Multiple kinds of sound design and sound operators
But when you're a one man squad.
I am. Yeah. Well, one man and a woman.
One man and a woman and a dog.
And a dog. The most important thing.
She's waiting by the food bowl.
Yeah, she is. Even though she already ate.
She ate already. She ate twice. She had treats.
Basically.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a lot that you learned about here. But you know what? It sounds great.
Yeah. At least we'll appreciate it, because we're probably going to be the only people listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
I listen to it while I clean and while I drive. And you can too if you want to listen.
Yeah.
Or watch, depending on what you're doing.
4 payments of $9.99. No, I'm just kidding.
I wish. It's free. It's all free for you.
Yeah.
And that's a perfect segue to today's sponsors. Us. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I don't know where this podcast is going to be posted, the audio version.
But the video version is going to be posted on YouTube.
Yeah. And the audio version, I'll put the link below or in the title card right here. Yeah. And we also have a Twitch channel, which we stream to pretty regularly.
Especially now with our 2 PC setup, now that we finally got that squared away.
A lot of trial and error. It's not perfect, but
yeah, the two of us both stream.
Yeah, have some funs.
Have some games we stream together with friends. Separately, we stream sometimes.
Yeah. When we have space, it'll get better. We'll have two computers here.
Well, you have your Razer laptop. It's pretty much a gaming laptop.
I mean, it is. It's better than my desktop computer.
Well, right now, it's better than your desktop.
Yeah.
This is a 7-year-old computer.
Yeah.
Which is unheard of.
I mean, it's heard of.
I haven't heard of it. I haven't heard of it.
I was like, my first computer was a Milky Way, and that shit was like 15 years ago.
Well, you don't have it anymore, so.
I might.
No, you don't.
I don't.
Your dad throws everything away.
That's true. But you definitely have it. I've seen your Milky Way computer down in the basement, and you have the box.
No, we have the box.
And and you've got the fucking CD booklet that it came with. It has like a CD sleeves, and it has the Milky Way like plastic binder material on the outside.
Our parents are different like that, or I guess my parents.
Different. You have a space to hoard stuff, and
your dad just like gets rid of stuff like couches every year almost.
Yeah, but that's now. We used to have a couch for a long time.
Oh, that's true.
Like normal people.
That's true.
My parents are developing their artistic taste for interior design.
There's design. A difference. you mean getting
You're
bored?
You're just jealous that my dad can let go. He let go of me. He was like, "Oh, you're moving out? Get the hell out."
Yeah.
Just kidding. No, he was nice about it. He was like, "Good. I'm glad you're moving on the road, but we need to give this room to your brother, so you need to move out right now."
He's like, "Get everything out of here." I don't want that. And he's like, I don't want you to put all your clutter in the basement.
I mean, in his defense, I 100%. I told him, I was like, "Oh, can I just take the weekend to move?" I moved out within, I think, 24 hours.
No, you moved out on like a Friday.
And they helped us. They helped me and stuff. And I wasn't like, get out. It was, it was actually a normal. It was a normal situation.
They helped us put together the couch from IKEA, which was a nightmare.
It wasn't like a one of those situations. It was normal. No, but I was like, can I like take the weekend and slowly move? And my parents were like, no, you do this all at once. And in their defense, I 100% probably would still have shit in there today, and we've been living in here for over a year.
I mean, look at my house.
You still have a full bedroom.
My bedroom does not look moved out.
Yeah.
My closet is still full somehow. fucking somehow I still have clothes in all the drawers.
Yeah, you do.
In the cabinets. I still have toiletries in the bathroom.
Yeah.
But everything's also fully stocked here. I just have that much shit.
That's true. It's a lot of stuff.
I don't throw away toilet. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff,
yeah,
man.
It's a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah.
And now Elijah's in my old bedroom, and in his old bedroom, workout room. They get a Peloton.
Full circle. They got a Peloton. I still take credit. I convinced your dad to get the Peloton.
That's true.
He said it's expensive.
Well, yeah, and they were also being sold out and scalped like every fucking thing else right now.
He was like, it's expensive. And I was like, yeah, but you're worth it.
Nice.
Nice. I try. It's pretty cool to see it.
I don't know if they got it going yet. They
did.
They waited like 2 weeks for me to come over and help bring it up the stairs. Remember?
Yeah, no, they already started using it.
Did they?
Your dad texted a video of your mom on it.
Oh, I didn't watch it.
I mean, I just remember seeing
that
it was
goes
there.
back to our earlier conversation. I don't look at my text messages.
I hate texting.
If you call me, I'll pick up. Who calls me?
Keith.
That's true. Keith does call me. Half the time he screenshots that he calls me 5 times in a row, and I get 1 missed call.
You don't always get
real.
it. Yeah.
That's real. I don't know if it's his phone or my phone. It's probably my phone.
It's probably your phone.
We have the same phone. Maybe it's both of us.
I think you should get an iPhone.
He's thinking about getting an iPhone.
Yeah, listen, this is why I want you to get an iPhone. You and I will have the same kind of phone, which I like. Have you not noticed that in our relationship, we both had iPhones when we started dating? And then when you made the switch to Android soon after, I was like, oh, I'll get an Android too. Then you made the switch back to iPhone, and I made the switch back to iPhone too. And then you made the switch back to Android. I made the switch back to Android. This time I was like, fuck you. I'm getting an iPhone. I don't do anything on my Android.
Break the trend, man.
I broke the trend. Now come with me.
No, I don't understand how to use your phone. It's not
together. We can rule the galaxy. I don't have a voice changer here.
No, you don't. This is why you're on that side.
This is why I'm on this side. It's too much power. Power. I have the power. I wonder how that sounded. Probably great. Probably flipping great. What were we saying? Get an iPhone.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to get an iWatch. I'm waiting to get an iWatch until you get an iPhone.
So
I'm protesting.
I thought about it. I don't use the Google. I'm not going to say it because it's going to set off all the devices in our house right now. I don't use it that often on my phone. I use it on all of our Google devices all the time, but I don't use it on my phone.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was one of the things I was waiting for. You also don't use your Siri.
Only when I'm driving and I ask Siri to call you.
Yeah. So saying like, hey, take me to this place.
I never use it. Yeah.
Call, whatever. It's the same thing as far as I know. I don't like the Apple version of Maps as much as like Google Maps.
I never use Apple Maps.
Yeah, but you use Google Maps your phone. But I don't think Siri will open up that map.
No, I can ask it to.
Oh, really?
I could say, take me to on Google Maps.
Okay.
I guess I could say Google Maps. I'm like whispering. No, Siri, and it remembers the apps I use and stuff.
Okay.
No, dude, it works really well. And she was saying on the Android, you like widgets, but they brought widgets.
Yeah, they're bringing the widgets now.
Yeah.
So that's nice because I know you never use them, but I use the preview widgets on my phone all the time, like me and my text messages, all that stuff. I like seeing that there.
I have it on my lock screen. Like I see my emails and stuff.
Everyone has it on the lock screen. It's called a notification.
Exactly.
I'm talking about like an expanded. You don't.
Yeah. All right, carry on.
Okay. App connectivity. All of the smart devices in our home all work with Apple.
I have the Google Home app, the August Lock app.
Yeah, all the apps I use are also on Apple. I'll have to buy them again, but apps are like $2.
Whatever, yeah.
It's not a big deal. At least I have the apps on my app store if I ever do switch back to Apple.
Yeah. Forgetting the most important reason to switch to Apple.
What?
Apple Watch.
Oh yeah.
I don't have an Apple Watch.
That's the big thing. I've had at least 3 different Android smartwatches. Well, and I had the first gen Apple Watch.
Yeah, you had the Apple Watch.
None of those watches, and some of them were newer ones.
You had the Huawei.
Were as good. It was one of the newer Huawei, and it's good that I stopped using it because China listens to you through them.
China.
Yeah.
China.
Yeah, but yeah, my first gen iWatch was better than like a brand new, and I'm brand new. I mean like 2018, like Huawei or like a 2017 Galaxy Watch.
I had one of those Galaxy watches.
Yeah.
When I had the Note, and I did not like that watch. It was not the same.
They're fucking expensive though, man. Those watches and the phones, like, it's a bad time to go back to Apple.
I mean, not really. The Android phones and Apple phones, they're both $1,000 out of pocket.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. And the Apple Watch with GPS, because I'm not going to bother getting it with cellular. I mean, maybe I will. Cellular is only another extra 100, which isn't horrible. But with GPS, it's 400.
Okay. Yeah,
it's $399.
You never answered me on whether or not that includes for a lifetime, or do I have to pay monthly for a GPS? Because I know with
no, GPS is free. You're talking about cellular.
Yeah, that's what I'm
cellular is another 100. Of course, you have to pay monthly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You have to pay monthly. I know that my brother a few years ago, because technically the Android watch was his.
Android watch. Not
yeah,
an
and they
Apple
had
watch.
to pay monthly.
I know, but Apple was different. Do you have to pay? I'm sure you do.
I don't know, probably. Because it's like having another phone, which would be nice to be able to, answer calls and texts. Well, you can if your phone's within like 100 feet.
I'd still prefer to have my phone, so I don't think I'm going to get a cellular version.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good battery. It can go up to like 100 feet underwater, and you could take it scuba diving.
Welcome to 2020, Apple.
Whatever. Said so yourself. You liked it. And we can iMessage. I want you to get an iPhone.
Yeah, well, you said yourself. We Facebook message. We're Facebook people.
No.
Messenger people. Even though Facebook's listening to our text messages also.
They're listening to our text messages?
They're listening.
I mean, they're recording our Facebook messages.
So with the Facebook Messenger app, if I remember correctly, the microphone is active.
Yeah.
So they listen to us.
Yeah, that's for ads.
Yeah.
That's why you could talk about something as simple as inflatable paddleboard, and you'll just start getting ads for inflatable paddleboards. You're
just saying that because you want to look at some companies that sell inflatable.
I love inflatable paddleboards, or the idea of it. I've never seen one in person.
Yeah.
I want to go paddleboarding.
Paddleboarding. So where do you paddleboard? You paddleboard in lakes and oceans, right?
You could, oceans, like if it's calm, rivers, lakes.
Because I feel like paddleboarding is a pretty deep water commitment, and I don't know if I would trust it to be inflatable.
It doesn't have to be deep water.
Okay.
It can be anything. It can be a river. It's just nice because, from what I've seen of, mostly it's like celebrities on their paddle boards. You either stand and you paddleboard and you go like this. That's a good workout apparently because it's your full body. Or you just kneel and you're on your knees paddleboarding.
Okay.
So it's what you prefer. I don't know. Maybe when we go on our Florida Keys trip eventually, we can do paddleboarding.
Maybe. Man, your legs are hot.
Sorry.
She's got her legs on my lap right now. You don't see it off camera. And also, if you're listening, obviously you don't see it. But Jesus, your calf muscles are radiating heat on my thighs right now.
My chair doesn't provide leg support.
Oh, well, that's how chairs do. That's how they do.
It's one of those.
Your legs dangle.
One of those cute home goods chairs that I'm like, my ass barely fits on here.
I think anyone's ass barely fits on there. It's meant for like a child.
No, it's an adult chair. It's a lady chair. This is for, as they would have on the little bracket things. Boss babe. Hashtag boss babe.
I don't know what you're talking about.
When they have their little like furry chairs and pink signs, and it says boss bitch.
Pretty sure that was a Legally Blonde thing, and then that stopped being a thing in the early 2000s.
No, it's a thing that's going on now. It was not a Legally Blonde thing because when Legally Blonde came out in the year 2000, it was still like, oh, a woman going to law school. Oh my heavens. Well, not really, but kind of. But kind of.
Reese Witherspoon 2020 and things haven't changed very much anyway.
I was watching, again, going back to the bachelorette party, we were watching this movie that me and Ariel were both saying, we should watch this movie, This Means War. It's a movie with Reese Witherspoon, Chris Pine, Tom Hardy. Yeah. And we were like, hey, this will be great. Let's watch this movie. It's really cute. It's like it's nice rom-com. Got some star-studded cast. Let's watch it. It's fun. Chelsea Handler has a sexually charged cameo in it, and it's great. And we were watching it, and we were like, some of these things here are actually a little creepy. Like, the guy uses his CIA connections to look her up, stalk her. He's trying to manipulate her into liking him and all this stuff. And surprise, surprise, she ends up picking him. And even the scene when he showed up at her work and was basically like gaslighting her into agreeing to go on a date with him, we were all like, if he wasn't Chris Pine, she would be like calling the cops and would be really creeped out by this.
Yeah.
If he wasn't like attractive. But then again, maybe that would happen in 2022. I mean, as well.
Well, what was the Spy Who Dumped Me? Wasn't there like some sort of toxic relationship thing going on?
Yeah, The Spy Who Dumped Me with Mila Kunis and
what's her name? From SNL.
From SNL. She's hilarious. I don't know her name. Not Kristen Wiig. It's the other one.
No, for some reason.
She reminds me of Kristen Wiig.
I always forget her name. Yeah.
I don't remember her name. But it has Mila Kunis in it, and it has like Justin Theroux or something playing the love interest. I don't know. But it was a similar thing where he was lying about his identity and everything, and she ended up wanting to get back with him, but then she ended up getting it with another spy who was lying about his identity.
Yeah.
But even with The Spy Who Dumped Me, it all ends up with, Tom Hardy's ex-wife, when she ends up finding out that he's not a lame travel agent, but he's actually an international spy, she ends up wanting to get back with him. So it's like...
Does she? I don't remember the ending.
She does.
No, wasn't he the bad guy all along?
No. You're thinking about A Spy Who Dumped Me. I'm talking... I already circled back. I'm back.
Lost me. You already lost me.
I'm back, baby. I'm back at... This Means War. Yeah, the Chris Pine ends up with Reese Witherspoon. Tom Hardy gets back with his ex-wife, and the whole time I'm just like, that bitch, because she's like really mean to him, and he's just this sweet British man, as Tom Hardy is, Tom Softy, as we like to call him.
Who's we?
Jess sent me a meme. Okay. It was Tom Hardy, and then with the kitty cat, Tom Softy.
Nice.
Yeah, and he ends up with her, and I'm like, seriously? Like, it wasn't until after she found out he's a super cool spy that she ended up wanting to get back with him, when he was trying to be like, hey, maybe we can get some dinner sometime, as a family. And she was like, I got a date. Sorry.
I
Tom Hardy.
Say, Chris Pratt doesn't have an accent like that.
First off, it's not Chris Pratt. It's Chris Pine.
Chris Pine.
I know. White
Isn't it
people.
Chris Trio?
No, there's... Chris
Pine, Chris Evans,
Chris Pine, Chris Pratt, another Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, Thor, Captain America, Green Lantern, and
Quadfecta.
Oh, and what's his name? Star-Lord.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I just gave you the Tadoy face.
Well, then why'd you call him Star-Lord instead of
Because I called them Green Lantern, Captain America, Star-Lord.
Keep losing me. It's the eye contact. I never look at you in the eye.
Yeah, we'll just look
this
at
is your
the
soft
monitor.
doe eyes. Just kidding. Maybe not.
Then what are they?
They're poop colored.
That's
kidding.
rude.
I feel like that's such a kindergarten thing.
Yeah. You got poop colored eyes. Or mud eyes. Muddy brown.
Your brown hair reminds me of mud.
Oh, that's like, I mean, like,
and the teacher like, he's just saying that because he likes you.
Yeah. And apparently that's like a thing that they're not supposed to say anymore.
Yeah, because that promotes abuse.
Yeah.
But they used to say that stuff to us.
Well, I mean, no,
like
that's also a
trope.
kid. Yeah, it's a 90s trope, like blonde piss color hair.
It would be like the tomboy girl would be like kind of abusive to the male main character, and she just liked him all the time, like Helga Pataki.
Yeah, Helga Pataki.
And I think the little girl from Little Rascals.
I don't remember Little Rascals as well to remember that there was a girl. Charlie Brown. Poor Charlie Brown. Let's not even get it. Charlie Brown's a whole nother episode.
Charlie Brown's a dick. Just kidding. No, he's really sad.
No, he's really sad. Yeah. It was really sad and pathetic.
Yeah, they treat him really poorly.
Yeah. And then, but Helga Pataki.
That's like a whole other thing. The Peanuts movies suck.
Yeah. I don't even remember
Because they're
them.
horrible to Charlie Brown.
Yeah,
and
they're
there's no
all horrible.
resolution. They
Never.
don't change. I mean, like there's always like, you know, the movies end and there's supposed to be some sort of resolution where the characters grow, but they're back to being a dick to him the next holiday video. So clearly they learned fucking nothing.
I know, between
They're horrible children.
Halloween and Thanksgiving is fucking 3 to 4 weeks. And then at Christmas is another 3 to 4 weeks.
Probably no, it could be a year and 3 months later.
No, it's the same year.
Is it the same year? How do you know that?
You tell. I can tell.
Okay.
I can tell.
Okay.
To quote the late great
Mr. Kim. He's not late. What? You telling me something?
What?
Did we lose another great person to COVID?
Oh no, Mr.
So
Kim.
No.
No.
Follow him on Twitter.
I follow him on Twitter too. I follow all of them on Twitter.
He's liked and retweeted me. I feel like I got graced by the one true Abba.
You have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the yip yip Abba. The you can tell Abba.
Kim's Convenience is such a feel good show.
I want to rewatch that show again. It's
For like the 5th time, 6th time.
It's literally, I think, if I had to pick, you know how everyone says like, oh, what's your favorite show? And it's like, no, the answer to that is always going to be, I don't know. I like a lot of shows. But I feel like if I had to pick like a favorite show, like the kind of show that you just could keep rewatching would be Kim's Convenience.
You know, I was like rewatching The Office, you know, Parks and Recreation, and now even like Community, and like thinking like, wow, I never watched these shows when they were on TV. I'm binge watching them now, but I never watched them. And it's not like I was too young. They were all on TV when we were like younger, but like we could have watched it. I mean, some of the humor is, no, let's be real. We would have understood what they were saying.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the 80s references we wouldn't have understood back then, but even now, like back then we watched a lot of 80s movies, but being part of that would have been cool. So I feel like
I watched all those shows.
I know, but
out.
To me, I'm just saying like, I think this. So watching Kim's Convenience, I feel like it's on the same level as those shows. So like watching it's just nice. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, no, it's nice, especially because I watched and like binge shows. I would like binge when they'd have them on TBS, like The Office.
Yeah.
Actually, Parks and Rec I watched on Netflix, but there were still new seasons coming out. And Community I watched, but there wasn't that type of, to use the word again, community, like online community with these shows. And like, you know, I didn't really know that many people that watched it. Like, you know, I would have some friends where I'd be like mention it and, you know, they watch it too, but
yeah, well, they became cult classics.
Yeah, now they're cult classics, but back then they were just like whatever, they were just shows. And now with Kim's Convenience, I feel like this kinship with the other, you know, people that watch the show, because you could just see them on Twitter. You follow the actors on Twitter. You kind of see what they're up to, and you kind of, you know, see when they're talking about behind the scene things with the shows.
I wonder if it's because of Netflix, and I wonder if it's because there's a shit ton of episodes for those shows and they're funny.
So people just want to binge.
Something that they can binge watch over and over and over again that lasts a lot. Because like most of the shows on Netflix cancels them after the 3rd season, 4th season.
Because it's the algorithm.
Yeah. And then they move on to the next thing. Even if it's like there's still people who want more episodes. So what? Parks and Rec's got like 7 or 8 seasons?
Not even. But yeah, like 6, 7, yeah.
Office has got like 6 or 7 episodes.
Like
seasons.
10. Friends has 10 seasons.
Got like 6 seasons, and they want to do
6
a movie.
6 seasons and a movie.
Yeah, they haven't done the movie yet.
Hashtag 6 seasons.
But the actors have said they'll come back for it.
Well, it's literally like that episode of Community, not to be like hitting the nail on the head with a hammer here, but Abed was watching that show and it ended really quickly. And then Britta was like, oh, watch this Inspector Spacetime. It's been going on for 50 years.
Yeah,
and you can watch it. And you know, he just watches it like a lot of people watch it. Like it's something that you can keep watching. So I think that's definitely true. I think people like going to Netflix and having a show to watch, because now there's all these, even like high school kids, like young kids that watch these shows that were popular when we were younger. Even I've heard people are watching, like I would see on BuzzFeed, like Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's true. That's another one of those shows. But I feel like especially Parks and Recreation, The Office, and Community, those 3 shows have a lot of culturally inappropriate jokes. And
crazy,
it's back then that was, you know, still not appropriate, but it was, you know, what was commonly used for jokes back then. And for it to be popular now is actually really surprising in today's cancel culture. And
That's true. Yeah,
I mean,
no one's canceling
when
Steve
did they
Carell.
become? When did it become like a thing that people were like, "Oh, I'm an Office person"? It was like what, like 2000, probably 2010 ish.
No,
2012 ish.
because
I feel like it
Netflix
was when we were in
wasn't.
college.
Well, yeah, that'd be later. Yeah. Oh, people would ask you, The Office or Parks and Rec?
Yeah, in
And you
college.
have to pick one, and I'd be like, I like
Because
both,
Netflix
bitch.
started streaming services, I think,
Streaming.
my
They
sophomore
did.
year.
No, they streamed it when I was in high school. Still, I remember because I was all up on that Netflix train. I remember I was in middle school. I went to
the
this.
DVDs and stuff.
Yeah, I went to this girl's house. She had this thing. She's like, "Oh, my Netflix game." I was like, "What's Netflix?" She takes it out. She's like, "Oh, this little red envelope. You get a DVD sent to you. You just make up a queue online." I was like, "That shit's amazing," because I loved movies and TV shows. Like I would just always be on TV.
My high school best friend used to get Netflix all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And I saw that she was doing it. And then it was when I was in high school, I signed up for Netflix and I started getting DVDs in the mail. And then they started slowly having things where it's like you could stream it. But a lot of times you'd be like, "Oh, look at this movie." And it was like you couldn't stream it, but they had it in DVD.
Yeah,
Like
I
deliver.
think they still do that.
I honestly, I go through Netflix a lot just to see what they have, and I haven't seen that. So I don't think they still offer DVDs.
I remember maybe it's just been a while.
No, it's been a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, there'd be sometimes where you'd want to watch this movie right now, and it's like, oh shit, now I have to wait for it to come in the mail. That was still high school.
Okay.
For me. So that's like before 2011. Like maybe 2010.
Okay. Then the real question is, when did The Office come to Netflix?
College. I think when we were in college.
Probably because the show was still going. It had to end before they added. I mean, they add stuff, all the time, but I don't know when they first started adding it.
Well, I rewatched all of the Friends TV show, The Office, Parks and Rec. I watched in college. Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Watched that freshman year in college. Eat my mac and cheese on Pasta Wednesdays in my dorm. I remember watching that, but The Office, I was still watching that on TBS in high school.
Okay.
And for those of you who don't have cable television and don't know what that is because you are too young, that is a network channel. Network channels.
TBS?
Yeah. Is it not a network?
TBS still exists, doesn't it?
No, I
Do they
meant
have like the home makeover shows and like
no, that's TLC.
Oh fuck.
TLC has like Little People Big World and like
I don't think that's the right.
I don't know. Shows like My 90 Day Fiance. Discovery Channel has pit bulls and parolees and other shit. No, but there's
surprising because it's owned by Disney.
Yeah, it's true. But there's a lot like we don't have cable.
Yeah.
My parents have cable.
There's times it would be nice, but mostly when it revolves around sports or like New Year's when we're trying to watch the ball drop or something.
Literally, those are the only times. So maybe for football and for New Year's, we should get cable from like September to January because
we get YouTube TV
and then cancel it and then get it again.
I don't know if you can. You might have to pay for the year up front. I'll find out though.
Makes sense.
But yeah, it's kind of like a cultural thing. So I was just saying, I'm wondering if it had to do with the advent of Netflix.
Well, yeah, I think definitely.
Or a generational thing.
No one would have gone back and watched it all. Like Scrubs is a show that I don't know if that's on Netflix, but thinking about it, Scrubs would.
It's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu. So Scrubs would be extremely popular right now because again, hilarious show, has Zach Braff and
it is pretty popular. That and like Psych, but they're both on Hulu, I think.
They're on Hulu, which is why they're not as popular.
So Hulu, like, it's not that great.
Hulu is not great. It was fine in like, but before like 2014, it was still fine. It's like
anti-Roku, I feel like.
Yeah, no, you pay membership and you still have commercials. I remember back in the day, that's where you would go for your new episodes of shows. Like it would be up a few days later.
It's not that much cheaper than Netflix.
Yeah. I mean, they had ads then, but now they still have ads.
It was ads if you watched it for free. You just wouldn't, you just wouldn't get every single newest episode. Certain things would only be for subscribers, and then you'd get ads.
Hulu is terrible.
Yeah.
I'm shocked they're still around. Hey, Hulu, if you want to sponsor us. I'm kidding.
Or Netflix.
Or Netflix.
Just kidding.
JK.
Yeah. So there was a point to this podcast other than talking about like kind of. Thanks, Google.
Oh shit!
I don't know what Google just said.
Because I said Hulu.
Oh.
What was the point of this podcast?
Aside from kind of like talking about us starting a podcast, it was what all of our podcasts are gonna be about are basically kind of what our YouTube's about. It's just us going through life, because I feel like a lot of people our age feel like there's a lot of shit that we're learning as we go. Like I had, was it 9th grade project? It was called For Me, and that's where they taught you how to do. You balance a checkbook, you do your taxes, learn how to do like spreadsheet. It was like the adult shit that you have to do, and they didn't even tell us why we had to take it. We were like, oh, you just have to take 9th grade project. It's a like during high school orientation, it's a requirement to graduate, right? Their requirement to graduate. I don't know if it was a state requirement. Teachers, you can comment below. And they didn't tell us what it was about. And to me, I was like, what the fuck? It's a project. I was expecting to have to do like community service or some shit like that. And I go in there and it's a computer room. And my high school had no computer classes. I had computer class in middle school, elementary school. And that was with like floppy disks and shit. And it was under the church because I went to Catholic school. But yeah, we had to use the computer and we did like Excel spreadsheets. We learned how to budget shit. We learned how to like balance like bills with food and all that kind of crap, like real important like adult life skills. But also taught, no offense if for some weird stroke of luck my 9th grade project teacher is watching this right now, it was taught by the teachers who couldn't get the normal people, like the normal classes like math or science or history or something like that. They were like the leftover teachers, right? Yeah. Or like the new teachers who weren't tenured yet because they were pretty young, or like recently licensed teachers or whatever. So they didn't really do a good job. And let's be honest, I'll be honest, we kind of ran amok. We didn't really do like what we're supposed to. So beyond that, like it's all like what my parents taught me and then kind of like figuring out shit as we go. I don't know if you had that kind of class in high school.
Yeah.
You did?
In middle school.
What was it called?
In computer class, we had projects where we were like, you have to kind of have a budget, like you're opening a restaurant or a business. And we had home ec where we learned how to cook and sew and like CPR emergency things. And then we had, wood shop. Yeah. Which I think was called like something with tech.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. So
and it wasn't home ec, it was modern living.
Modern living. Okay. That's a very fancy way of calling it. I don't know who the hell named my class 9th grade project.
That's a terrible name.
Fucking name is that?
Well, because home economics is very like sexist, I guess. It is. So they changed it to modern living because everyone needs to know how to do this. And then I don't
think home ec taught you how to balance checkbooks.
No, I learned some of that stuff in modern living.
Yeah, I know, but like home
ec was for the girls, wood shop was for the boys. Yeah. Like if you're talking about back in like a while ago.
Yeah. But so like our YouTube channel, we're posting like tutorials on stuff that we do, like how to travel, how to make a living doing photography or video stuff, some of the travel films we do, and like that's something that we're developing and working on as we go, but something that's easy for us.
And like passion projects, passion, like films and
documentaries.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of vlogging that goes on our channel, and that's, we're and I think it has to do also with our generation because we got phones that are very easy to take photos, videos. We take photos, videos of everything, and
constantly recording, constantly snapping, Instagram storying. Be honest,
like how often, like I know you go through that shit all the time, but like the average person, how often do they flip back to 2016 and like watch this video?
I constantly watch on my Google Photos.
I know you're different. You're like
7 years ago this week. I watched this week for the last
dates and time.
11 years. I watched everything. Yeah. Well, last 6 years, and then I had something from
the vlogs are just kind of like us putting it all together and like documenting our lives together as a married couple.
Yeah, and that's another thing that you were saying where we're millennials. I'm 27. You're 28.
Yeah, and
we're kind of. I mean, we're definitely there's a lot of disparity with people in their late 20s. There's still people that, and I'm not going to say I'm not saying we necessarily have our shit figured out, but there's people who are living completely different lives at this age, whether they have 6-year-old children and they've been saving in their 401k and doing other shit.
Yeah, and
like paying mortgages for years.
With 6 kids, or you're 28 with $1 million job. The same thing is true for everyone. No one knows what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
Everyone is just faking it until they're making it.
Yeah.
Your boss, your coworkers, your friends.
Yeah.
Because you don't learn half the shit in school. I mean, maybe when you go to master's classes, you learn all the other stuff on the job. Everyone is just figuring out shit as they go.
This is just a look into what our life is. What these two millennials who got married almost a year ago. It'll be a year in September.
Yeah.
And we finally moved out and moved into a place together last summer.
Yeah.
Before the wedding. And so we've been living together for the last year. You know, we were commuting from home when we were getting our masters.
Yeah. So this is just us looking for insight in our own lives for ourselves, but also looking for others who share similar interests or who are going through similar things, or people just like us. And if we don't find anyone like us, at least we have these videos and audio podcasts for us to look back to.
At least we knew it.
But hopefully we're hoping to pick up some people like us along the way, which would be really nice. Kind of build a little community.
Yeah, exactly. All goes back to community.
Yeah, so these podcasts are going to be kind of similar to our vlogs, where it's just what's going on in our life and what we've learned and how we had to fucking figure out our shit around it. Like, for instance, this past weekend, we had some friends up to the cabin, right? And we had a food shop.
Oh my God.
That was a whole process.
We've never done that before.
Yeah, usually, so in our friend group, usually that's handled by Jess, who's like our mom. She's like a big sister, even though is she older than me or younger than me?
No, she's
same age.
She's 30.
Okay, yeah,
this year.
So she's like a big
2 years older than you. Yeah.
And so she like handles everything, and
oh my, we were literally in ShopRite and we had to call her.
6 or 7 years since we've been friends with her, maybe longer. Yeah, she's been handling everything. The first time that we've had to handle getting all the food for the rest of the group.
For a weekend. So we've hosted before, and normally
breakfast, lunch, dinner for multiple days.
No, because
and snacks.
Normally when we host things, it's just like a party or a barbecue, and everyone brings something. You just fill out a Google Doc.
Like we've had
Friendsgivings and
4th
stuff.
of July pool parties or something where we had
but this
like
was
lunch or whatever.
A whole weekend.
And
normally
we were responsible for feeding
with this friend group,
5 couples.
Yeah, it's like someone
10 people. Yeah.
Yeah, normally like when we go camping. Yeah. I mean, this year was just before. It'd always be Michelle and Alex. They would, get all of the food and everything, and then everyone just Venmos them, and it's easy. But this time we were like, okay, we're hosting. It's at my parents' house, at my parents' cabin. So it's like, we'll do that. Yeah. And I had to ask Jess. I was like calculating the food, everything, like snacks, like what people are getting.
How many fucking hot dogs can one person eat in one goddamn sitting?
Apparently more.
Yeah, yes. A lot. So we
always get extra bacon. Yes. That's the lesson. Always buy extra bacon.
Because not only do you eat a lot of eggs, but eggs fucking break on the way there.
Yeah,
Luna.
We broke 9. Luna sat on them.
Yeah, she smashed them with her fat ass.
We had to get more.
She's laying on the floor right now next to us.
Yeah, we're not just looking down. like God damn you, down there in hell. I love that. Like, what was it? I feel like that's like early 2000s humor in shows and movies where they like look up like, "Are you there, Mom?" Like, "Are you there, Mom?"
God damn you.
God damn you.
For people listening, we're looking at the ground, shaking our fists.
And at the sky.
Yeah,
at the ceiling.
Yeah, but so we tried to estimate as much as we could, took as much counsel as we could, and we itemized everything, put it in a spreadsheet, and we made some adjustments for next time. So now we know.
Yeah.
And I could get nerdy about it and make it so that the Excel spreadsheet adjusts based on the amount of people. I could do that.
No.
Not that big of a deal. I could add it.
We could figure it out.
See, these are things that we had to figure out on our own. So like these are examples of things that we want to talk about.
So we're just going to talk about our life, and
that we can't talk about on the vlog because they're not on the YouTube channel now, but our first 6 vlogs, we talked so fucking much.
We did?
We talked so much. And now in our vlogs, we don't talk very much. It's mostly visual. And
Is
then
that better?
Yeah. Well, to me, because you and I know what's going on in those videos because we lived it. And for the people watching, if they do watch it, they're not getting bored.
Show, don't tell. First rule of cinematography.
Exactly.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it is.
Yeah.
Should be. Apparently.
And in the podcast, this is where we kind of fucking hash it out.
Tell, don't show.
Yeah. which is kind of like the theme of the shows. You know, we chose the name If Trees Could Talk. It's kind of a play on if walls could talk and if something falls in the forest, did it even happen?
Did it even happen?
Yeah.
I like that name. You came up with that name.
I did.
Yeah, like a year ago.
I think I was pooping when I thought about it.
And here we are, 1 year later.
1 year later, but you know what? I've learned a fuck ton.
Yeah.
We've thrown ourselves so much into doing the video stuff and the audio stuff that, you were talking about it before. If, you asked me how many hours did I put behind a camera in the past year? And it's a crap ton because very rarely do I not have a camera in my hand doing something, or am I not researching something related to a camera?
Honestly, you spend hours a day just researching things, learning things, watching videos, trying to learn. You're just putting things together, reading like reviews and other thoughts on like different equipment. Yeah. That's why I tell you, like, it's your practice and then you're practicing. So it's like that, the 10,000 hour rule. I mean, I don't know if you're anywhere near 10,000 hours because they say
some math right now
before you're an expert, but you're pretty damn close, my friend. Pretty damn close.
I have a calculator right now. Let's see, 2 hours minimum
a day,
365. That's 730 hours.
That's 10% of the way.
Yeah. 1 year in, 1 year down.
Yeah.
10 more years to go.
Yeah. Well, I can only imagine. Only goes up from here, but yeah. Well, I've been trying to support you into going after your passion, and
I like it. It was like why I liked fencing, or sports in general. Like when you're focusing on the sport, everything else kind of like melts away, and you're in that moment, and you're focused on what you're doing. And that's kind of how I feel when I'm using the camera and I'm doing something. One, I love art, and I don't draw anymore. I stopped doing that a long time ago, and I didn't really have time to play music until recently during the quarantine. Again, building up those finger calluses, and also you pushing me to pick up that art again. But just creating something with a camera is just me showing everyone else like the way that I see it, because it's all very like when I'm looking at something like, oh, if I look at it from this angle, this is my point of view. And I'm bringing the camera in as like my eye, and I'm showing it. So like to me, it's like a very personal thing. And also I get really into it, and like I forget what I'm like, everything else, all the other issues, I'm just kind of going ham. And I probably look stupid when I'm doing like some of the movements I need to do to get the right kind of
not like me when I take photos.
Oh, you do
like
the
lean
limbo?
back. I lean back, I do a limbo, and I pop out my crotch.
Yeah. I'm like, why don't you just squat?
Power stance.
I mean, I don't know if it's a power stance. I could probably push you over.
I mean, I don't know. We'll have to test it next time.
Yeah.
Well, that's what, I like about this form of, because it's taking a lot of like your different like passions and skills. Like it's taking that artistic side, and it's also
an amalgamation of skills.
A skill. Yeah. It's not just, a lot of times there's, all artists, they practice their art and that's how they get better. But this is something where it is art, but there's also that technical aspect to it, that component where, you're studying it, you're learning it, you're, learning sound engineering and all these other things. And I think that's great, that you're able to like focus on it, because it's literally just like you said with sports, you get out of it what you put into it. Yeah,
like fencing. Fencing is just you and the other fencer.
Exactly.
Sure, you got some people yelling at you and your coach yelling shit at you, but at the end of the day, you don't have time to think when you're fencing. It's just all about what you practiced, and it's very intimate.
Yeah, and it takes more. I mean, all sports there's a lot of, that like mental like fortitude and everything, but with certain sports like swimming and running, I feel like your body literally has to be the machine. Yeah,
it's an amalgamation of training.
Yeah, but with, it's kind of like with sports like fencing, where there's a lot of thought that goes into it. There's a lot of technique. There's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for here, where you have to like react to what
the muscle memory.
No. It's whatever.
I don't know. Je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi. The little je ne sais quoi.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it's great, and we'll just be talking a lot about our passions, which are, travel, photography, film, dogs, conservation, other issues. We're working to make a lot of documentaries. Yeah. So we'll
hopefully, as the quarantine ramps down, we can actually start doing some. Oh my
God, I was watching a couple of the travel films that you put together and put on the YouTube, and even something as simple as
on the YouTube.
on the YouTube, the YouTube with the Pokemans and the videos and the vlogs. Even the Toronto one, I was like, God, just driving up and going to a city and exploring. And
I miss Toronto. It was nice.
That's a really nice city. Yeah. I really liked it there. I really want to go back. It just fit us. Yeah. To Canada.
But yeah, that's what our podcast is going to be about. But what today was supposed to be about was the differences between generations. Was it? Yeah, that was my plan.
I thought it was going to be that we're starting a podcast.
Yeah, and then we were going to talk about us and what it's going to be about, and then talk about, because we're millennials, kind of talking about the differences between Gen Z, boomers.
That's a
Xers.
whole.
Well, we kind of touched upon all those topics, kind of.
We did.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, not what the differences are.
We're in the middle.
Yeah.
As millennials, we're in the middle of all that. So I think that, we didn't directly talk about it, but you could see from everything that we touched upon all the different topics that kind of span the generations. Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically, so I saw a thing earlier. So if you Google a millennial, right, it says it's between 1981 and 1996, right? Mm-hmm. We're saying, who do we know who's at the kind of the top end of that spectrum and who's at the bottom of the spectrum? And so depending on where you look, the year fluctuates, give or take a year, right? So you see 95,
96.
And then you probably see
80,
82, 81,
yeah.
80, right? So the differences between the people, for us, I was born in 1992. We're at the tail end of the millennials. Technically.
Not the tail end, but we're towards the end.
We feel like we're tail end, but think about it. Between 1980 and 1990, there's a gap of years, and we're towards the other end of the extreme, right? Now we're not more towards the middle.
Well, between 1981 and 1996, that's 15 years. So half of 15 is 7.5. So 1989, 1990 is smack dab in the middle. So we are barely past the halfway mark.
That's true. You know what? That's fair.
Thank you.
And actually, that's a good argument for
Welcome to my TED Talk.
No, that's a good argument for what I was about to bring up. I saw a thing that called us fake millennials.
Why?
Because they called us the 90s millennials, where we don't actually experience the things that real millennials experienced.
No, at that point, it's well, fuck you. If you want to make a whole new generation, make one. Because 1990 and further is literally, if you cut the millennial range in half, that's the second and a half.
No, I would agree.
Yeah.
The argument was just that, millennials born in the 80s got to experience more of the millennial 90s time period. Whereas we were born in 1992 or 93 in your case. Yeah. We were 4 years old by the time millennial age ended, and we grew up in the Gen Z age, right? So we experienced more of what the Gen Zs, because they're being born. That was the argument. But you're right. We are technically smack dab in the middle. I mean, what is a 10-year-old going to experience, right?
I was going to say, if you're born in 1985,
I mean,
you're under 10.
Yeah. Well,
you're in second grade, third grade.
When we associate millennial stuff, we think of Pokemon, we think of yo-yos, we think of sidewalk chalk and running outside, some of the 90s shows. That's what call us the 90s millennials. And then we're not true millennials because we experienced both the 80s and the 90s. But I feel like we experienced enough. We went from floppy disks very quickly and Walkmans and stuff like that. And actually, I had a cassette player.
I had a cassette player, and then it was until later that I had a CD player. And
that shit did not fit in your fucking pocket.
I remember
cassette players were better in my opinion because that shit fit in your pocket.
Well, I remember sitting in the car when I was a little kid with a handheld tape recorder, and you wait for your song to come on the radio. You press record, hold it up to the speakers.
It's funny.
Then you press stop.
My mom used to do that.
Yeah, no, well, everyone used to do that. That's how you recorded music.
Yeah, how you pirated music.
Yeah, that's how you did it. I remember doing that. I still have my tapes.
Yeah.
Somewhere, because we don't throw anything out. But yeah, I mean, okay, I guess granted
VHS,
that's
DVD,
true.
Blu-ray.
But at that point, I mean, look at baby boomers. They're from the 1930s to the 1950s.
I have it pulled up.
Yeah, baby boomers are the 1930s to the 1950s. Huge disparity.
Very big.
That is huge. That 20 years is much bigger than us and 80s babies. That's unbelievably huge disparity. And they don't call them Gen X
46
boomers.
to 64
Yeah.
for
Huge.
the boomers, yeah. Before that was the silent generation, the greatest generation. And that's it.
Okay.
Then it's Gen X, my parents, 1965 to 1980s.
Well, to 1979.
Oh, yeah, right up until whatever, give or
1979.
take a year
Yeah.
or so. Then you got Gen Y or millennials, which is us. And then Gen Z, which is the current.
Also called Zoomers.
Well, they call them Zoomers, but when I was a freshman, they called them Generation Me.
Yeah. Generation Z, Generation Me. But then, like, the last couple months,
'Cause
I
it's
heard
all about me,
Zoomers.
me. Yeah, it's, I don't know. Maybe, I think it was coined because of, like, how fast-paced they are. They're zooming around.
I thought it was because, like boomers, they hate millennials for some reason.
Probably.
I don't know. I'm kidding. I don't know. There's a lot, and you know, I don't have any unbelievably strong feelings towards any generation because
we're all making mistakes.
we're all people. We're all people.
Yeah.
And
Same shit, different generation.
same
Unfortunately,
shit, different toilet.
it shouldn't be same shit, but it's unfortunately the same shit going on.
That's another topic too.
Yeah, another topic for another day. We're running low on our podcast time.
So that's our cue.
That's probably a good time to stop.
Yeah.
So we're Natalie and Zach.
We'll talk at you next time.
We'll talk at you next week. And remember, this is if trees could talk. The only show that if you didn't watch or listen to it, did it even happen?
It didn't. We did it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.